Should you change your per man hour rate or your pricing based on the size of the lawn? Obviously, our price is going to change if the lawn is bigger and takes a lot more time. But the question was brought up by a subscriber, and it's something that I've addressed in previous videos. But it's worth revisiting because I still, not that I struggle with this, but it's something I have to keep a very, very close eye on. And if it's something that I keep a close eye on myself, as good, I like to think as good of a business as I run, that I'm sure other people are struggling with this or maybe want some clarification on pricing whenever you have different size lawns. The question, and again, sir, I have to go back through all my comments to see it, and so forgive me for not mentioning your name, but the question was basically this: if my per man hour rate is like $100 an hour, and I know I can get that on small lawns, should I still have a $100 per man hour rate on larger properties? Or should I reduce my rate a little bit since it's a larger property? So let me give you an example. Whenever myself working solo, whenever I go out and work, or whenever my crew goes out and a two-man crew goes out and works, there's a certain amount of lawns that we can get done based on that capacity, whether it's just me or a two-man crew. So think about it this way. If I can go out myself, if I can go out and service in a neighborhood a $50 lawn or a $60 lawn, then I can confidently tell you that whenever I go into a neighborhood, since we have good route density, I can confidently tell you I can do at least 2.5, most of the times 3 lawns within an hour in that neighborhood by myself. It's not with a two-man crew, like by myself. Our two-man crew can do 4 to 5 if they're beside each other. I mean, easily, and sometimes push 6 if they're kind of lined up together. So I want you to think about this. If, for example, I can go and let's call it 3 lawns. Let's say each lawn takes me about 20 minutes to do. They're right beside each other. I get $50 per lawn. That's $150, okay? A man hour is effectively what I'm making. So I was able to generate $150 a man hour by myself. Now again, those are for small residential lawns. The issue that we have is when we step up to a bigger lawn. Let's say, all right, we're out here at my place, okay? I've got about 5 acres out here. All right, there's a lot in the back, okay? If I were to quote this lawn, I have to keep in the back of my mind that I am able to go out and generate $150 an hour by myself as a solo guy whenever I go into work into neighborhoods that we have good route density in, okay? So I know this place out here might take me 2 hours to do by myself, maybe longer. But conservatively, let's just call it 2 hours by the time you cut everything, trim it, edge it, just do all the things. Let's call it 2 hours for the example's sake. So if I'm able to go into a small residential neighborhood and make $150 an hour, if I come out here and do a big property, it's going to take me 2 hours, what should I charge for this place? I should charge $300 to keep that $150 per man hour rate intact. And therein lies the issue. It has been my experience that whenever you have a bigger property like this, those per man hour rates, they diminish. I would not pay somebody $300 to come out here and cut my grass. I may pay them $200, maybe. That'd be stretching it a little bit. And that is my point, is that the margins for me are better on small residential. So there is this balancing act between saying, hey, I know I can get $150 an hour whenever I have good route density on these residentials. Why would I go and do a big property that's going to eat up 2 hours out of my day when I know I can for sure make $300 over here on 6 residential in the time that it would take me to go? I hope that makes sense. I hope that is making sense. I hope that I'm explaining that correctly. So that is the issue. That is the thing that we have to figure out. There are a couple suggestions that I would give you. The first is this. You need to clearly identify who your ideal client is and their ideal lot size. That is so important. Whenever you are starting out, you take whatever you can get. And I get it, man. You're going to take small, you're going to take medium, you're going to take big. Like, you're just trying to get this thing off the ground and take flight. That's all you're trying to do when you're starting your lawn care business. But if nothing else, what you've got to be doing is collecting data, okay? You've got to be tracking your per man hour rate on these lawns and saying, hey, on this lawn right here, I'm getting $75 a man hour. On this lawn over here, I'm getting $40 a man hour. On this lawn over here, I'm getting $120 an hour. Why am I getting $120 a man hour on this type of lawn? If I had to guess, I would guess it's probably because it is a small lawn with minimal obstacles. So I would say if we're not identifying our ideal lawn, then we wind up with a basket of all kinds of lawns on our schedule. And again, when I'm starting out, that's okay, but that brings me in to my second point. My second point is once we have identified our ideal lawn and know where we are getting our best per man hour rate, then it is time to start cutting and whittling away all those other lawns that are not meeting our per man hour rate. This can only be done once your schedule is getting close to maxed out. If you're not maxed out, I get it. Like, you cannot get rid of a $100 lawn just because you're able to go cut $200 in an hour somewhere else. I get that. I understand that. But if you are reaching the point where you are starting to max yourself out, there's nothing left for you to do. You've got to figure out some better efficiencies, okay? So if we've identified that ideal client and we have said, okay, our schedule is getting close to being maxed out, now it is time to start whittling away those lawns that do not meet our per man hour rate. So that would take me back to the point of saying, hey, should you change your per man hour rate based on the size of the lawn? In the beginning, you probably have to a little bit. But as you grow, no, you should not. And that is a trap a lot of guys get into. They don't know their ideal lot size. They don't know which lot is getting them the absolute max bang for their buck, for their time spent. And then they just start taking everything. And then they realize, they're like, why do some lawn care companies seem like they're just going out making $1,500 in a day with a two-man crew? And, and my two-man crew is over here struggling to break, 900 or 1,000. It's because those lawn care companies have identified their ideal client, their ideal lot. Point number 3, what is your takeaway from this video? The takeaway is you need to sit down and do a little bit of homework. I think you probably intuitively know where your best bang for your buck is. You probably intuitively know, like, you go into this neighborhood and you're like, man, like, in this neighborhood over here, I can charge $60 a lawn, and man, I'm in and out of these lawns in about 20 minutes. There's like no sidewalks. They're all inline lots. There's no corner lots. Like, people have their new neighborhoods. There's not like a bunch of trinkets in the backyard. No offense to all the mom-balls and pop-balls out there, but it's been my experience that older established homes typically have a bunch of junk in the back that just really slow you down. That's been my experience on where you're going to find the best bang for your buck. So your homework is identify what is my ideal lot size, where am I getting the best per man hour rate on, start actively marketing and targeting those lawns. And these bigger properties like this out here, though you have those on your schedule right now and they're there for necessity's sake, as you add a new, better, more profitable lawn, what do? Get rid of this other one, okay? I know it's counterintuitive. I know it's counterintuitive to get rid of a $100 lawn, but if you have the confidence that, hey, I got rid of a $100 lawn, but that $100 lawn over there, I'm fixing to fill it with two $75 lawns in the same exact time and make $150 in that hour time frame instead of $100, that's how, I mean, you're literally talking about an increase of 50%. Like, think about that over the course of your day. You see like $100 versus $150. It's not that big of a deal. It is when you run it over the course of the day. You're talking about, if you're doing $1,000 a day, now you're doing $1,500 a day. And the difference in that, an extra $500 a day, what is that? Let's run that over the course of a week. That's an extra $2,500 a week. Extra $2,500 a week extra there, okay? Over the course of a month, that's an extra $10,000, all because you took the time and effort to identify your ideal lawn, okay? You've got to do that, right? Understand we can't get rid of everything in the beginning, but you need to know where your best bang for your buck is, actively target those, and then whittle away all the other lawns that are dragging your per man hour rate down. So, bud, forgive me for not remembering your name, but I wanted to specifically address that question that you had. I hope that bot provides some clarification for you. You guys be good. I'll see you in the next one.